Same thing happened with Alexander. Alexander, when he came to India, his mother told him, you get some Ganga water for me, or bring 2 sadhus for me. He said, Mother, I shall bring the whole of India here for you. And when he came here, he went on asking everybody, please, have you seen God? Have you seen God? And there is a great samvada, a dialogue between Alexander and a rishi in the Haryana, Punjab region. And it's a very interesting story. I will not go into that. It is a separate subject by itself. We will not go deep into it except to its relativity to animals. So we come back to animals because in the Western countries, all parts of the world, 95% of the whole world are eating meat. Perhaps there was a time when there was no plant life, when man was always in the forest, there was a need to eat animals. But in the now case, there are enough food, vegetarian food available. There is no need to go for an animal feed. But people are not understood. And the Western world always thought that there had no soul. In fact, one conference in Germany, which I had attended some 30 years ago, they said animals have no soul. They are meant to be eaten up by man. So man has got the right over animals and nature. I have the right to exploit water. I have the right to exploit air. I have the right to exploit animal species. That is their approach. Of course, slowly they are all changing. There are many humanists in Western countries, particularly United States. I know Francis Lappe, John Robbins, Peter Singer. They are all written beautiful books on the sacredness of animal species. It's only in India where the one country cows are worshipped, bullocks are worshipped, meat eating is taking a rapid stride. In the Western countries, meat eating is going down. Number of people eating beef is coming down every year. 1 million people are becoming vegetarians in the West, while as 1 million people are becoming meat eaters in India, which is a tragedy for India. And therefore, Shankara TV is doing a great service to mankind, whole service to India as well as mankind, to tell them what is really truth. We want truth. Dharma and truth are the sacred words of India. We should approach towards everything should be dharmic in character. What's called Sanatana Dharma. I had also explained to you that there is nothing called mata. There is nothing called religion. In India, the word mata is not there in the 1350 asthana, what is called fundamental texts of Hinduism. The 10,000 sub-granthas of Hinduism, 1 lakh commentaries on Hinduism, there is no mention of the word Hindu or the words what you call mata. It only came much later. Our concept is a view of life, way of life of thousands and thousands of rishis over a period of 10,000 to 50,000 years. Each one gave his own interpretation, his own perception, his own experiences of the world at large. Therefore, it is based on not mere theoretical knowledge. It's not even aided by any equipment. It's an experience of God. I also explained to you last time, I'm reminding you that there is called pramana. Pratyaksha means you can see what's happening. That's called direct evidence. I can see it, hear it, touch it. Next is anumana. I can infer from there is a smoke, there is fire. That's anumana. Third concept of knowledge is what is called the pramana, what is called authority. Like Einstein saying that the light is bending, we believe him. They will not believe if ABC says the earth is bending. And that is why we are able to have people experience in God, experience God, and from whom we take it as pramana. From that point of view, there are two ways of doing it. Our spirituality is experienceable, while as materialism, so-called secularism, so-called science, technology are experimentable. experimentable versus experienceable. The other difference which you should remember is that you cannot touch Quran. You can't change a word in Quran. You can't change a word in Bible. Of course you can change a word. What I mean is there will be a hue and cry if there is a change or description is misinterpreted other than what is written there. In our case, we are allowed to do modify, eliminate, abolish, change, rectify. So rectification, modification, addition, deletion, we are allowed. What is the basis for that? It should be yukti, it should have logic, it should have rationality, it should have science, it should have shastra, it should be experienceable, it should be provable, it should be understandable to not only our external indriyas but also to the inner indriyas, inner knowledge also. It should be experienceable. And therefore what I am trying to say is, as we go along in life, in the last 50,000 years, many of our acharas and samskaras have to be removed. You can't do the same thing what was done in Treta Yuga, in this Yuga. Now in this Yuga, what we need to do is only put the name of God. You can't do Agnihotra, you cannot do any Vishwashanti Homa, if Sandhya Vandana you cannot do, if you are in a plane, and therefore when time and place changes, we should change everything to suit conditions here. As long as the word culture means concern for others is culture. Concern for others is culture. And therefore, apart from music and dance and art and literature and painting, sculpturing is called culture. Concern for others much more important, and that's a key element with regard to our respect, our treatment of animals. We have no concern much. We all know people hoot the horn, make a lot of noise, park on the wrong side of the road, we speed past, they go by the left in traffic, as you can see, they pollute Mother Earth, spit on the road, dirty the road, and hundreds of things we are doing without caring for the others. So the caring and sharing with others and not hurting. That's why Baba always says, help ever, hurt never.